There is so much uncertainty in 2020 that I don't think it's the right choice for me to start burning my personal savings to wait for my company to bring me back to work. Today is our last day in Montana, and while we've been here, we've gotten really good at working full days remote. But I actually want to take the opportunity to talk about something that I really haven't talked about almost ever on How to Travel, and that's my personal work situation, because this week is the first week that Americans on unemployment in 2020 are living without assistance from the CARES Act. In 2020, my year began as an Imagineer. I am a producer with Walt Disney Imagineering, and that's the part of the Walt Disney Company that is responsible for designing and building the parks and resorts and hotels and cruise ships. And actually, Matt and I both were fortunate enough to work together on the team that designed and built the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge projects at Disneyland Resort and at Walt Disney World Resort. During COVID, like many of my colleagues, I became furloughed. So what furlough means is that you still are an employee, but I don't work, I'm not allowed to work, and I also don't collect any payment or a paycheck at all. To tell you the truth, I felt kind of personally conflicted about taking unemployment because I would have liked to think that I could have supported myself in any sort of a job disruption, but the expectation really was for furloughed employees, you survive off of state and federal unemployment assistance during COVID-19 until things change and until the company comes back and is ready to bring people back to work. Let me tell you a little bit more about how unemployment and how the CARES Act worked until now in 2020. So fortunately, the state of California has been really efficient about extending unemployment to a lot of people. I am aware that many people in other states, including colleagues in Florida and people that we've met from other states like Kentucky, still haven't seen any unemployment payments. But the state of California will pay you a maximum of $450 weekly. That's based on your previous income. The $450 is pre-tax, which means that if you're living off that money and you burn it all the way to zero weekly, that you're going to have to pay back taxes in the future, presuming that you get a job. Additionally, there's something that's called the CARES Act that you may have heard about that includes a lot of the stimulus packages that have happened in early 2020. CARES Act included the stimulus payment, which is up to $1,200, and it also included loan forgiveness or loan deferment, and maybe most importantly, at least to me, the CARES Act included an additional $600 of federal unemployment that the United States government gave out to unemployed or furloughed workers in 2020. So really what the CARES Act was designed to do is to keep things normal. That means keep the economy normal, keep people spending and using money the way that they used to basically bide time for Americans to get back to work. The interesting thing is California unemployment plus CARES Act additional $600, you get weekly payments of about $1,000, which equates to somewhere, depending on taxes, but to a $70,000 to $90,000 salary. So that means that a lot of people on unemployment in 2020 are making a lot more money off the CARES Act than they did in any previous work arrangement. However, because there are so many furloughed employees in 2020, that also means that there are a lot of people that have personal payments, lifestyle choices, things like mortgages that may not be sustainable on a $400 check weekly. This week, the CARES Act ended, which means that unemployment checks for anyone unemployed or furloughed is reduced back to the state maximum, $400 or $450. And fortunately for me, I feel really blessed that I don't have a lot of major payments at home. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have kids that I need to pay for their school or something like that. But in my personal situation, if I am only taking unemployment from the state of California, I will barely be able to afford my apartment that I still have leased in my name in Los Angeles. So I had a family member that it really wasn't a question, it was a statement that told me, you know what, like, fortunately, Tay, you're relaxed about this. And even though I feel fortunate to not be burdened with a lot of high dollar payments that I'm obligated to, I'm nervous because I don't see an end to this. I don't see a clear path to me returning to my job right now that I at least understand. And I don't alternatively see a clear path to a different career or an alternative job. And I think the uncomfortable part of that is that there is so much uncertainty in 2020 that I don't think it's the right choice for me to start burning my personal savings to wait for my company to bring me back to work. Clearly in 2020, there have been so many challenges that probably most of us have had to adjust to, but it's interesting that everybody that we talk to has told us about the silver lining. So I thought I would just tell you a few of my positives from 2020. First and foremost, I'm so thankful for the opportunity just to get out and explore. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to probably ever visit some of the places that we've been to, and to take the time to really spend time with family, reconnect with people that I haven't seen in a long time, even if it's just on the phone. And secondly, I think that I am very thankful for, honestly, a wake-up call to just slow down, to not commute several hours a day, and really to just think a little bit more about what my motivations were and what they should be and what I was doing and spending my time and money on. I think it might be a few challenging months of kind of tightening the belt and focusing on figuring out how we can make sure that we stay afloat. But in the scheme of things, I think it's so not a big deal to just relax, enjoy our time with the positives that we have, ask for help when we need it, and figure it out when we get to the end of the road. And by the way, I don't see us getting back to the way that things were before for probably quite a long time, and I think that's okay. And I think that maybe a new normal could potentially be even more positive than what we were doing before 2020. Today we are going probably the most remote place we've been so far. This has got to be one of the most peculiar national parks because it actually isn't a national park.